Ooh! I don't know why I just did that. Anyway, welcome back, guys. We're back with another video. This is actually my second video on this account. We are going strong. So, this video will be about the commander pairings that I use for KVK1. This is not necessarily like the best pairings in general for KVK1 or even like the best free-to-play pairings for KVK1. I will talk about that in different videos. But without further ado, let's hop straight into the commanders tab. As you can see, I have 4 legendary commanders maxed out, but some of these are YSG. I didn't even use in K1. I'm gonna be real with you. Same with the epic commanders. I didn't use some of these in K1, like buy bars. It just is what it is. It was what it was. But what did I use? I used Money Moto. Now, as you know, Money Moto is extremely pay to win. That's why he's called Money Moto. I mean, put 2 and 2 together, bro. I mean, it equals 4. But anyway, what does he provide, right? First skill, he does direct damage to a target troop, right? So it's a single target commander, right? He has no AoE. Damage factor is up 1,400, right? This skill has a 50% chance to deal additional damage factor up to 600 to the target every second for the next 2 seconds. So right off the bat, he is one of the highest damage commanders in KVK1, right? Especially with his second factor of his skill, he's providing a chance, right? It's not guaranteed, but he's providing a chance to do even more damage to whatever you're hitting, right? Let's look at his second skill. This commander's cavalry unit gains 10% march speed and 20% attack. So basically, what this means is he's moving a little faster, as we already know. Cavalry is the fastest unit in the game, so it's kind of like icing on the cake, right? It's just something to put, I guess. I don't know. He really doesn't need it, if I'm being honest with you, but he can move a little faster. Cavalry attack bonus is also up to 20%, so this just allows him to punch a little bit harder than he already is, which again makes him one of the highest damage commanders in K1. I mean, it just is what it is, bro. Third skill is kind of useless unless you're trying to grow your account a little faster, right? It allows you to hit barbarians a little harder. This commander troops does 50% more damage to barbarians. Pretty self-explanatory. Fourth skill, whenever this commander troop launches a basic attack, which is basically those white numbers that you see on the screen every time you drag your troops to an enemy and they start fighting, battling it out, I don't know. Those are your basic attacks. But it has a 10% chance to increase the target's damage received by 30% for 3 seconds, right? Cooldown, 5 seconds. Basically, what this skill means is it has a 10% chance to boost his active skill damage by 30%, right? So instead of 1,400, you might be doing whatever 30% of that is, bro. I don't know. Y'all do I'm not a mathematic genius, bro. But it just allows him to do more active skill damage. And this skill also applies to whoever you put behind him. So if you put him behind another damage output commander, say YSG, again, I didn't use them, but say YSG, he will also be doing very, very, very high damage. Even more damage, basically. His expertise, nothing crazy. It deals direct damage to a target troop. Damage factor 1,400, so it's still the same. This skill has a 75% chance. So now instead of 50%, it rises to 75% chance to deal additional damage. Damage factor, again, stays the same, 600. To the target every second for the next 2 seconds, right? So basically, it's just increasing the chance of you doing more damage to whatever you're hitting, whether that be a flag, whether that be another troop, whether that be a city. It just has a chance to do more damage for his active skill. So if we take a look at his kills, right? As you can see, I have almost 5 million kills on him. Pretty not bad, honestly. I think that's pretty good. I do plan to use him on K2, so we'll see how farther up I can get that. Hopefully double, triple, who knows, or who knows. All right, so some of the commanders that I pair him with, I always kept Money Moto primary, but I put double C behind him, right? And if we take a look at his skills, deals direct damage to a target troop against single target commander. Damage factor 1,400. The target, oh my god. The target loses 40% attack and also 10% march speed for 3 seconds. So, again, very nice damage output coming from double C. And on top of that, he provides a nice debuff to the whatever you're hitting. So say if YSG hits you, right? That YSG is now doing 40% less attack than he would doing rather if he didn't have that nice debuff coming from him. Also, march speed reduction up to 10%. So this just allows you to keep up with your targets and allow you to keep popping those active skills just like that. Nothing crazy about it, but it is what it is. Second skill, another kind of useless skill. This commander troop does 50% more damage to barbarians. So if you combine that with Money Moto's third skill, you're now doing 100% more attack to barbarians. So pretty nice. Third skill, this commander cavalry unit gains 8% march speed, which goes up to 10%, and 25% attack, which also goes up to 30%. So this just allows them to be a little bit quicker, I should say, because as we already know, cavalry is actually the fastest unit in the game. And also it allows him to punch a little harder. And this is why I say like this pairing right here is insane, especially like if you're hitting flags, if you're hitting cities, as we know that's a single target objective. It just punches, bro. It just hits like a truck, basically. So yeah, if we look at his fourth skill, whenever the commander troop launches a basic attack, it has a 10% chance to recover a portion of his slightly wounded troops. Let's take a look at that. Y'all can read that. I'm not really gonna cover that right now, but healing factor is 700. It can go up to 1,000 and gain 70 extra rage, which can go up to 100 extra rage. Gain 20% march speed for 3 seconds. Cooldown is 5 seconds. So this just allows double C and honestly Money Moto too to be a little bit more tanky, right? It is based off a chance, so you're not like guaranteed to hit that healing factor every time you're getting hit with a basic attack, but it will definitely be there, right? And when it does, it's so satisfying, bro. When it pops off, I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. It's satisfying. But also, rage is very, very, very important. It basically just allows him and whoever you pair him with to pop off their active skill a lot faster, right? So yeah, you'll be doing more damage overall, and that's basically all I got going to it. We look at his expertise. I don't have his expertise because I'll get into that in a second, but this commander's cavalry unit gains 25% attack but loses 10% defense. Now, again, this just allows him to hit like a truck a little bit more, but the reason why I don't really like it is because I like the defensive stat over the attack stat. Not to say like this is a bad skill, it's just I prefer to keep my defense and health as high as possible, bro. Like, yeah, it just is what it is. Like, I'm not like a rally lead, so I don't really need this, no way. But if you are like a rally lead, this might be worth considering because you'll be able to like shred through whatever you're hitting a lot quicker. And yeah. So, let's take a look at his kills. As you can see, 4 million kills. So, I was pairing them pretty much all K1, all KVK1. I was fighting in rooms, fighting in zones. I was fighting in Kingsland even with this pair. And overall, I would say this is a good pair. Now, some of the cons about this pair is it doesn't have no AoE, right? So you can only hit one troop at a time. Also, on top of that, it's pretty squishy. Like, it has a nice debuff from double C, like attack reduction 40%. But it doesn't have no defensive stats. It doesn't have no health stats. Like, you got to try to like make up for that with your gear. So definitely I'll go back from that. Definitely squishy. Like, if you get targeted, you want to run away, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's okay to run, bro. Like, you don't have to try to, oh yeah, I'm gonna thug it out. No, bro. Run away, bro. It's okay. Anyway, let's talk about the second pairing that I used, which was actually Charles Martel and Pierce. Like, I put those two together. I kept Charles Martel as primary, and then I had Pierce running behind him as secondary. So, if we take a look at Martel's skill, first skill, this commander troop gains a 30% bonus to damage dealt for 4 seconds, and a damage absorbing shield for 4 seconds, right? Damage factor, 1,200. So, basically what this does is it just allows him to do more of that white damage that you see on the field when you hit an enemy troop. It just boosts that up by a lot, bro. And also, which is the main important part about him, he gains a damage absorbing shield for up for 4 seconds, and it allows him to tank 1,200 damage from it. So let's say a YSG hits a Martel, right? As we know, YSG is doing 1,700 damage. Well, if he hits a Martel, now that YSG is only doing 500 damage, right? So it significantly reduces the damage taken by whatever you're hitting. And yeah, if you look at his second skill, this commander infantry unit gains 20% defense and 20% health. With his expertise, he also gains a 20% march speed. So basically, this is just give you a whole lot of defensive and health stats, and it allows him to be on the field a lot longer than someone like Minamoto, who doesn't have any of that. Let's go back to his skill. Oh, and if you expertise him, it allows him to move a lot faster than he would if he wasn't expertised. And as you know, infantry is probably one of the slowest troop types in the game, so they need all the march speed they can get. And 20% march speed is pretty decent. I'm not gonna lie to you. So overall, he's gaining 60% more stats, which is very, very, very important in KVK1. You want all the stats you can get. Third skill is pretty useless. I honestly don't even want to cover it, because if you get hit, like, if someone is attacking your city, you're pretty much dead, especially if you're offline, bro. Like, you never want to put yourself in a situation where you're getting rallied or even swarmed, or it's pretty much GG's for you, especially in KVK1. So his fourth skill, now this skill is where I would say he shines the most at. It allows him to do 30% more counterattack damage. So he's basically just popping off as much damage as possible through those white numbers. And yeah, it's like a slow burn, honestly. It really is. And then his expertise, we already covered it. 20% more march speed, which is very, very, very crucial for infantry. Now, again, I was putting him, I had him primary to Paris. If we take a look at Paris' skill, deals direct damage to a target troop, again, single target commander. Damage factor is 1,400 for the next 3 seconds. This commander troop does 20% more normal damage. Let's look at normal damage real quick. If I can. Is it going to let me click it? Includes basic attack, counter attack, smite, and combo attack damage, right? So those white numbers you see, it will boost it up even more, right? And as you know, we are already getting more white number damage from Martel's first skill, so it just allows him to do even more, right? Second skill, the commander's infantry unit gains 10% health and 15% march speed. March speed is very important, as we already said, and 10% health is the best stat in the game. So, again, very, very, very tanky. And while outside of Alliance territory, their troop does 20% more normal damage. Again, you're just stacking up that white number as much as possible. That's basically what it is. His third skill, if this commander troop is on the map, which if you're fighting, like if you're dragging your troops, you're on the map. I don't know what to say. Infantry units in their troop gain 20% attack. Again, more white number damage, more damage overall. Whenever their troop launches a basic attack, it has a 10% chance to gain a damage absorbing shield for 3 seconds. Damage factor 500. Cooldown 8 seconds. So basically that just allows him to be a little bit more tanky. It allows him to pop off another damage absorbing shield. Now it's not high. It's not even as high as like an epic commander like Pericles. I hope I pronounced that right, but it does allow him to be a little bit more tanky. Some of the downsides about this, though, is the cooldown is 8 seconds, right? That's a pretty long cooldown. Like, if we look at Minamoto's, does he have one? Yeah, he has a cooldown, but it's only 5 seconds. So, it's a pretty long cooldown, but it is what it is, right? His 4th skill, this commander troop takes 20% less skill damage, which is huge for KVK1 because everybody is using skill damage, right? There's no smite, there's no combo attack. Like, the closest thing we have to combo is Mina in K1, so everybody's using skill damage. So it just allows him to eat or tank some of that damage a little bit more. And also, their troop deals 10% more normal damage if it has a shield. Now, if we know Martel active skill is literally providing a shield every turn. So you're always going to be pretty much popping that off, which allows him to do even more damage. If we look at his expertise, whenever this commander troop is hit with a basic attack, has a 10% chance to reduce the attacker's the attacker's attack by 30% for 3 seconds. Cooldown 8 seconds. So again, another long cooldown on his skill. But yeah, nothing crazy with it. Honestly, you don't have to go for the expertise like I did. Like, you can leave them at 5, 1, 5 and be completely fine. But I just expertise them, bro, because why not, bro? Why not? So that's what I have. We look at their kills again. It's not as high as my first pair. And that's because this pair does less damage than my first pair. It's more of a stay on the field and do as much white number damage as possible instead of skill damage. So my Martel only has 1.3 million kills, right? And if we look at Paris, he has 1.2 million kills. Now, fun fact is I actually didn't max Martel. I maxed Paris before I maxed Martel. And I didn't have Martel max until, like, probably, like, the first zone fight. So he wasn't maxed during runes, none of that. That's just how it played out, bro. That's just how it played out. So, yeah, I'll probably give this pair I want to say, I'll give it an A+. Yeah, A+ on the map, and then an S for, like, hitting cities and stuff like that. And the reason I say that is because, like, if you're running this pair, you're not really going to be targeted as much, so you can still stand on the field a little longer and do more damage. But again, it has no AoE, which is a huge downside for it. And yeah, but the reason why I still give him a I give him an S for hitting cities for even Garrison is because he single target and, like, he just soaks up so much damage. And Paris is kind of providing Martel that damage output still. So it's pretty nice for defending a city, defending a flag, or a defensive objective, or even rallying an objective. So pretty nice pairing again. Yeah. Some honorable mentions that I will go over, like basically some other pairs that I could see somebody using and that I use myself, will be Charles Martel primary and Sun Tzu secondary. And the reason I do this is because Sun Tzu is providing Martel AoE, fan-shaped AoE, damage factor 800, right? So now you're giving Martel, he's giving Martel more damage output, right? After 1 second, troops hit by this skill take additional damage factor 200. So again, providing more damage overall is very great for forming KP, right? Because you're hitting multiple targets at once, right? So for every enemy troop hit by this skill, this commander's troop gains 50 rage. Now this is important because it just allows Charles Martel to pop off his shield a lot more and a lot quicker. So it allows him to eat up more damage and just stay on the field longer. Again, his second skill is kind of useless, bro. Like, if you're getting hit, it's GG's. It is what it is, bro. Especially if you're offline, it's just GG's for you, bro. His third skill, this commander troop takes 10% less damage. Also, it gains 10% more health. Now, this just allows Charles Martel and Sun Tzu to be tankier. And as you know, like, Charles Martel is probably one of the tankiest commanders in KVK1. So it just allows him to stay on the field a lot longer than he already is. Now, the downside about this pair is Sun Tzu's fourth skill. Not to say it's a bad skill. It's just not good on Charles Martel. This commander troop does 20% more skill damage. Very, very good skill. But the thing about Charles Martel is he has absolutely zero skill damage, right? So you're not really gaining anything. You're not getting anything at all, matter of fact, from Sun Tzu's fourth skill. Like, he'll boost himself, but that's it. He's not boosting anything for Charles Martel. So one thing you could do to kind of like get by that is you could like put him secondary to, or even primary to Pyrrhus, right? And you can make good use of all his skills just like that. But also, that's also an honorable mention. If you do want to try that, it will work good for you. And if we take a look at his expertise, deals direct damage to up to 5 enemy troops. So instead of 3 enemy troops, you're now hitting 5 enemy troops in a fan-shaped area. Damage factor 800. So does more damage than if he's not expertise. Let's keep going. After 1 second, troops hit by this skill take additional damage factor 200. So again, you're doing 50 more damage. Not crazy, but I mean, it's better than 150. Like, it just is, right? It is what it is. For every enemy troop hit by this skill, this commander troop gains 50 rage. So it's the same as if he's not expertise. So basically, his expertise just allows him to hit more troops and do more damage to those troops, right? So very, very good commander for forming KP, right? And very, very good for just doing more damage on the field. So Charles Martel, Sun Tzu, or Sun Tzu Pyrrhus, honorable mentions. Also, instead of like doing Minamoto double C, you could also do Minamoto buy bars. Now, this personally I did not use myself, but I did get someone who told me like, yo, you should check this out. So I did read the skills. Let's take a look at it. Deals direct damage to up to 5 enemies in a fan-shaped area, damage factor 1000. So it gives Minamoto a nice AoE, right? And it's pretty nice damage factor. I'm not gonna lie, like 1000 is not bad, especially for an epic commander. Troops hit by this skill lose 50% march speed for 2 seconds. So it just allows Minamoto and himself to keep up with whatever he's hitting, right? And again, cavalry is the fastest troop type in the game, so you'll just be they're not getting away, bro. If they try to run away, they're not getting away. Second skill, this commander's cavalry and it gains 20% attack. I wish it was health or defense, but it is what it is. Third skill, completely useless. Fourth skill, whenever this commander troops exit combat, it gains 50% march speed for 10 seconds and recovers a portion of his slightly wounded troop units. Healing factor 200. Very, very low healing factor. But if you're like dragging your troops to an enemy troop and then you're like constantly retreating, he will be popping off that healing factor pretty frequently. How do you say frequent? Oh my lordy, frequently. Yeah, frequently. I hope y'all know what I mean, bro. And then I actually did not read this. Let's read it right now. Expertise. Deals direct damage to up to 5 enemy troops. So kind of the same as Sun Tzu's. You're basically hitting more enemies in a fan-shaped area. Damage factor 1,000. So okay. So originally it's at 750, but if you have him expertise, it increases it to 1,000. All right, cool. Troops hit by this skill loses 50% march speed for 2 seconds, so that stays the same. Now this is pretty good because it allows Minamoto to have AoE basically. It's very field friendly, I would say. And he's kind of like a Sun Tzu, but for cavalry. He's just overall good for forming for KP. So very, very nice. Very, very nice. And yeah. So that's basically what I use for my pairings in KVK1. I use Minamoto with double C. Minamoto primary, double C secondary. I used Charles Martel with Pyrrhus, with Charles Martel primary and Pyrrhus secondary. And then I also swapped it out and I put Sun Tzu at primary, Pyrrhus secondary from time to time. And then Charles Martel primary was Sun Tzu secondary from time to time. I know this may be a long video. I'm sorry. But I really do hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like, comment, and subscribe. It will help me out a ton. I know that sounds cliche, but it is the facts, bro. It does help. It helps a person out. And yeah, peace. I'll see y'all in the next one.